Any meaningful work, especially if it is manual, is daunting, time consuming, and very hard on the body. But one thing we can all agree on is that if you're singing or you play music in the background while you do this work, then the work is going to be less daunting. We're going to feel its effect less. This idea comes from our oral tradition, the tradition that had work songs. In our traditional communities, we sang work songs, first and foremost, to praise hard work. This was to remind the workers or the people doing some task that this is the way, this is the virtue that this community values, because hard work is going to bear fruit. So work songs were first and foremost meant to praise hard work. Work songs also, on the other hand, frowned upon laziness. So you could find songs that said, hard work is the way to go. Hard work is what this community stands for. But laziness, those lazy people, they're not part of us and we don't recognize them. And if you are a lazy person, you are not part of this great community. So hard work was praised and laziness was frowned upon. These work songs encouraged the workers to summon all the strength that they could get to complete the task at hand. And because most of this work was communal, you found yourself working in a group and you felt like, this task is being shared. These difficulties are shared by the group. So the work song, it became a very communal thing and it made us feel like the work is not as tough as it was. A very important feature of work songs is that the rhythm went with the task at hand. So you found that the work songs actually coordinated the workers. So if you're doing some pulling, you're going to see some movement. A song that is going to be, if it is a fast thing you're doing, you're cutting something, the song is going to move that fast. So the rhythm actually served to coordinate us. In Scotland, we have these songs that are sung by women in Gaelic, and these songs were sung when the women were working on clothes during the cloth making process. Songs that we call the walking songs. These songs had this rhythm that helped the women to work on the cloth, to purify it, to make it of high quality. And so we see that these work songs actually went with some kind of rhythm depending on the task at hand. In the traditional African society, we find lots of these work songs, especially those that were sung in the farms. We sang when we planted, we sang when we weeded, we sang when we were harvesting. And these ones were actually meant to encourage the people doing this work to do it as a group, to do it fast, to do it well. We should also not forget that these work songs actually distracted the workers from the difficult task at hand. You know, when you're doing something very difficult and you're concentrating on the difficulty, then it is doubled. But when you find something to distract you, then now you might actually do the work but not feel it so much. These work songs had lots of repetition, and as we've said, of course, the repetition is supposed to help the workers to continue doing the work, especially if it is a grueling task that is going to take long. The work song is going to be repeated over and over, over and over, until it lasts the full duration of the task. As you can see, work songs were very important in our traditional societies, and we have the remnants from this tradition that we still feel even now. When you're doing laundry and you want to play some music so that you can be a little bit distracted from the work, so that you don't feel it so much, this is a function that the work songs did, and it formed a very important part of our lives to make life a little bit bearable for everyone.
Para no